City as well. And look where they are. They were 3 points off the top four going into it. Now they've knocked Liverpool out of the top four on goal difference for the time being, at least. Manchester City there, still in second place, 6 points behind. Arsenal have a chance to extend that lead over City to 9 points when they go to Forest later. Aston Villa could still have a say in this title race as well. Don't forget, they are at home to Everton tomorrow. But we can just, I'm just staring at this like expression of stone opposite me here,
I'm disappointed
Mike.
with the amount of conceded, chances they conceded. I mean, in a derby, you've got to give 100%. And if the team's playing better than you, Man United probably deserve to win. But if you look at Rico Lewis's position here, and yes, he goes and plays in that midfield area, but you've got to stop the counter-attack. How was Man United going to score today? There was on that counter-attack. And from that free kick, you've got to think about the second phase. And here we talk about body language and body positions. And he does really well. He knows exactly where Dorgu is. And he has a little look, absolutely perfect. He can see the ball, but he can see the man. And then he switches off at the vital moment, allows him to get inside and have that. And this is not me having a dig at him, because I've been in that situation where you switch off. And the way Man City play, they go really high. But in that midfield area, especially with young players at the back, you need that protection. So if you're in that middle, you've got to stop it at
Well, that was the point I was going to make on Rico Lewis, that it's his first start since August, Micah. It's not his fault that it's not just him that hasn't played for a while, but also the rest of that back four as well.
Yeah, I mean, Lane, I thought it was very good in the first half, and he gets subbed in the second half. But when you're analysing and you're looking at Man United, they was going to have a big performance. Carrick, the energy was going to be there. We knew that. But you're thinking tactically, how are Man United going to open up City? It's always going to be on transition. So you have to think of worst case, what can happen. As Shirky puts in that ball there, you're thinking, Rico Lewis, I cannot affect it going forward in terms of in the area. So now you've got to think, worst case, what can possibly happen? And being there, Shirky as well, Porterson, he can run back, but Semenyo on the other side gets back behind Rico Lewis.
You can stop it at source, though. If Cherky makes a professional foul, we're not talking about a counter-attack. That's in those moments there when you have a player who goes, all right, I'm going to make a foul. Just take the yellow and move on. But I think the touch of Mbermo allows the counter-attack. They've not got the run.
We're going to head off, Micah. They've scored 2 today, Manchester United. They've scored 3 offside goals. They've hit the post. They've hit the bar as well. And we are going to show it to you again.
Yeah, just slow it down there. So this
stop it here at source.
Stop it there. We know Shirky, and you've got to know your players. So if you can roll that back just a little bit, because this is really, really important at the beginning of the clip here, right? So when Shirky's now gonna take it, pause it there, right? Rico Lewis in this moment cannot affect the game unless it goes to shot and it gets really tight. So now you have to think worst case. And if you roll it on slowly, you've got to know Shirky defensively, that's not really what he does. Yes, he could take one out and take one for the team, but Rico Lewis, where is he going in this moment? He cannot affect it. Now you need to stop it at source. And now the running back. Yes, it's good from Man United, but this is at this moment in the game, this is the only way that they could open up, sit on transition. They had a couple of chances where it disallowed for the marginal offsides.
But they lacked all day, Mike. I think the City lacked that intensity for the whole game.
I can't give that to Rico Lewis. For me, I think stop it at source. If Cherky makes a professional foul there and takes a yellow card, there's no chance. The positioning of Rico Lewis, you could argue he shouldn't have been on the edge of the box. Maybe he should have been back in the first place.
But his mindset should be when you see the delivery going, expect the worst. Mm-hmm. You know the ball's not great. You know Maguire's obviously heading it, but these are split seconds decisions. Maybe you make excuses for players because they've not played for a while, but that's where you've got to do the basics right. And again, expect the worst. That should be your mindset.
For Manchester City is over, and it is a derby defeat for them and their manager, Pep Guardiola.
Well, Pep, obviously the result was a disappointment. What did you make of your team's performance?
Better team won. United was in 10 years is the time I will claim here that they were better. So nothing more to say. When a team is better, you have to accept it. You have the energy that we didn't have, and and yeah, congratulate them.
So how were they able to, maybe not in terms of possession, but chances, how were they able to have the better of the match?
No, they had the chances at the end and the crosses, and of course the goals they conceded was poorly. You do know that always United have been a transitional team, and we didn't control. But in general, we can talk about this action or the other action, or the, you know, in the beginning of the game or whatever. So I think we had the duty to analyze the game in the general, and they were better.
They obviously wanted an intense physical game. They want to bring their crowd into it. Were you just not able at any point, maybe because you didn't keep the ball well enough, you just weren't able to take that heat out of the match?
But they started really strong. We lost 1 or 2 balls. The crowd is normal. So we played a derby. So in many years, you know, they were behind and play at home, a long week, new manager. So these kind of things are involved in a game. It's normal that will happen. But, you know, especially when we arrive many times in the final third to try to, you know, to score, we never make a threat. We never make a crosses. We never make a, you know, a movement to, you know, to try to win that. So that is because also it's part of the energy. And it's not the energy also we talk is about, you know, win or do. It's always it's what do you do with the ball as well, not just without. And today they have a.
So to get a response and a performance like that in that short space of time.
What they've done has been absolutely fantastic. And I think more than anything, they've been talking to them. They made them understand what Manchester United is supposed to be. And then he's given them the freedom to go and do that. So there was no, as soon as they won the ball, it didn't matter where the ball was won, there was no restraint. Go forward. And we saw that in the first goal. You had, you know, it's a free kick that Harry defends, heads it out, and all of a sudden they're 4 against 2. That's not something I've seen for a very long time in Manchester United. But that is what Manchester United historically always has been able to do. You know, as soon as the ball is won, you go forward, and you don't think about what's going to happen behind you. That, I think, is something they've been talking to them about a lot, that when you get that opportunity. And it was fantastic. I mean, I can't praise Michael Carrick and his staff enough for what they've done in such a short space of time, because it was not easy. And again, I go back to the 2 games where Fletcher was in charge. There was no difference. You couldn't see a difference with the same players. Today, it was 2 different worlds. You know, it's just, if they can keep this up, I'm just looking at the fixtures left, you know. The Champions League is
one
a
game and you
certainty.
dream. One thing Michael did say was, I've told the players to enjoy it. We're playing for Manchester United, you're playing at Old Trafford here. And you saw a smile on not just the players, but the supporters' face again today, Michael.
Yeah, but you can't. Enjoyment is a byproduct. You know, you don't go onto the pitch thinking, oh, yeah, I'm going to love this today. Winning, you know, you only enjoy it if you're winning, if you're scoring goals, if you're breaking fast. I mean, the pace in that Manchester United team now, you know, they got, Peter said about direct, they were looking forward, but you can do that when you've got pace up front. And everywhere you look, there was players wanting to run forward. And then you get 1 or 2 players on the ball.
They like to press high. They like to keep every player up high to sustain attacks. But then when you find yourself defending, it's either an offside or one-on-one. And you can't get that right every time. Can we any of us think a moment in the game where someone was jockeying a United forward and there was delay in the attack? It was either he's offside or he's in on goal, and you can't defend like that. You're not able to give yourself a breather, to be honest. It's hard to kind of get momentum in the game, because even if it's offside, it still lifts the crowd and it still gives momentum to the attacking team. So they probably need to learn to defend a little bit deeper and suffer and be comfortable in making it harder to beat, rather than when someone wins the ball, within 3 passes, they can be in front of your goal. And again, the first goal, that can't happen. They can't have an attack. And if I just think about where Cherki's took the free kick from and the distance, Mbeumo's 10 yards ahead of him. By the time he scored the goal, I think Cherki's 40 yards behind him. Like, that can't be, especially in a derby, that can't be the outcome to any goal.
Let's have a look at it then, what Julian's talking about, because as you say, Harry Maguire being classed just prior to this, hadn't he?
Yeah, he's down injured. You see when he lands here, oh my God! But he's the one winning the ball, and that's Harry was amazing today. He was a reason for the clean sheet. But this is fantastic by Bruno. He runs and runs and runs, and you ask the questions of the 2 defenders. What are they going to do? Are they going to stop and attack him, or are they going to go with Mbeumo or with Ahmad on the right? This is a perfect counter.
You like when Buemo's run here, Michael?
I do, because if he stays on the same line, him and Ahmad are chasing the same ball, all of a sudden he makes that dart towards the left, which then gives two options. Kusanov, I don't know. In fact, the two centre halves for Manchester City are way too narrow. I'm sure Jolien will go on to that. But the pace of the pass from Bruno, the way he just let it come. See, there's the dart. That then is the catalyst. That's then the game changer of that attack. And all of a sudden, he doesn't even have to take a touch. The ball is played perfectly. How else would Bruno present a ball? He doesn't know how to give a bad pass. And then it's just a one-touch strike right across the defender. But that change of direction of the run on the halfway line, change that from a promising attack to a goal-scoring attack.
And from a defender's point of view?
Yeah, definitely. He creates the space, but then Kusanov allows that space to get bigger. I think he needs to match Mbeumo's run and force the pass out to the other side, because as soon as he creates that space, like Mo said, Fernandes isn't going to misplace that. And as soon as he gets there, the gap's bigger. Now no one can recover. So if he matches the run of Mbeumo, joins the line, as soon as he goes wide, you go wide. So now you're forcing Bruno into having a shot or passing it out to the stronger position for you defensively, and he doesn't do that.
It's interesting how different we see that, because I actually think Kusanov's doing well. But as a goalkeeper there, I don't want Bruno to take the ball and come directly at me, because that gives me no chance. I want him to pass it to Mbeumo. I want to have that angle where I can close it down a little bit. That will give me the best chance. The thing about it is, if he's doing what you say he's doing, then it opens up that gap. That Bruno can just run straight to the goal, and if he gets if the other defender comes across, he just rolls it out to Ahmad, then he's free. And that's why I think this attack was absolutely inch perfect. I don't think they could have done much.
But with that, what you're saying, that them the second and third scenario of him letting Bruno take a shot or going out wide, it's delaying the attack.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't allow for that attack to be delayed, so no one can get back.
It's so strange how different positions. Yeah. Like I agree with Joe that there's three scenarios. One is to pass it to the left, one's to pass it to the right, and one is to shoot from the middle. Yeah. Now, if I'm attacking, I'm thinking the Mbeumo one, I know the outcome was a goal, so it's easy to say now, but I'm thinking that is the most dangerous one, prevent that. If anything, I'm jockeying, I'm staying wider and think, go on then, this is a bad situation, it's 3v2, but the worst, let's just let Bruno have a shot from 22 yards, 20... let him take another touch here. Let's split a bit. Let him take another touch and have a shot. That is the lesser of the evils in my eyes. Then going to Ahmad is the next one. But that one there, that is the last one you allowed to happen.
Funny, because that's the one I want.
That's the one you want, because that's your strength. That's your strength as an individual goalkeeper.
As soon as he does that, I would come out a little bit closer, the angle down. I don't want Bruno. But when a striker comes running straight at you, there's no angle anywhere. It's directly.
He's 5 yards out.
Yeah, but how he hits the ball is impossible to read, right? So you don't know if the ball's going to go to your left or your right. And as you run with a ball that bobs a little bit, the ball then will react. It gives you less of a chance to save it, unless it's straight at you. But anything here makes it very, very difficult. Now, for me, this is how I'm thinking. I want Ahmad or Mbeumo to have the ball, because that gives me a chance to save it. So I want them to close it. These were the deals we all had.
But it gives you more chance to save it. It gives you the team a lesser chance. If I'm in Mbeumo's position, then I'm scoring 5 in 10. If I'm hitting it from the centre where Bruno is, I'm scoring 2 in 10.
But bearing in mind...
And that's me, but
but as a defender, you've also got assists, and we're talking about it, but this is the amount of time he should have to think about it. Mbeumo's on his strong foot. Force it out to Darlow, who's on a weaker foot. So then, it gives the keeper more chance to make a save, where I just don't think he gives himself or the team.
But OK, he passes the ball. If Kusanov's going out and closes that option down, he can still bring that ball forward. Then he passes it out to Ahmad. And don't forget, this is 4 against 2. This is a perfect counter-attack, because what we haven't spoken about yet is Doku behind. So when Ahmad gets a ball on the right, on his right foot, which is his strong foot, then it's a cross. Then you've got Mbeumo, you've got Doku, and you've got Bruno himself against 2 defenders. That's a situation I wouldn't like.
I know, but that's another pass and another pass. Yeah. It's time and more things that can go wrong. Bang, bang, goal. It's finished.
Discussion and debate, because we must move on to show 2-0. Now, you've been bemoaning, like all the United fans recently, the lack of options off the bench. What about Cunha off the bench today?
I was disappointed he didn't start the game, but when he came on, he made such an impact. This should never, ever lead to anything, but the quality of what he's doing here is just perfect. Then, of course, Rico Lewis goes to sleep. He's just been booked. I don't know if you're thinking about that. And Doku just nips in front of him and scores. But Bueno coming on and doing that. And we have, again, let me just repeat what I've said a few times today. That is again something that we haven't seen too much of in the last couple of years. Somebody crossing the ball, you know.
And what about Rico Lewis's role in that, Jolie?
Yeah, again, he's just caught with his body position all wrong. Initially, he can see Dogu, but then when he runs into the box, he's facing his own goal, and by the time he sees him, he's already too late. He's already past him. But initially, Ake can drop a little bit deeper. As soon as the ball goes past you as a centre half, drop into the line and shut the front corridor off.
Okay, so that 9-game unbeaten